Okay, so I have never done a YouTube video before, anything like that. Not like a blogger or anything, but I just wanted to make a YouTube video because I really want to share my ayahuasca experience. Because people might be feeling quite confused about their experience because it wasn't mind-blowing like you always see online and on blogs, and that's how I felt in the beginning as well. And I was watching all these people and I was like, I don't get that. I didn't go that deep the first time because I had 2 ceremonies in London the very first time I did ayahuasca, and I was like, I don't get it. I don't get the whole spirits thing. I don't understand how it's life-changing. I just felt a bit wavy. I didn't feel like loads. So anyway, I recently went traveling for 2 months, and then at the end of my travels, I was like, you know what, I'm really ready for ayahuasca again. So then I flew to Spain and did 4 ceremonies instead of like going home. And genuinely, one night has changed my life forever. Like, I finally understand what ayahuasca is. I finally understand what people are talking about, and obviously it just took its time. I know people always say it takes between 6 and 10 ceremonies for you to sort of feel something mind-blowing, and it 100% was like that for me. So anyway, so I was in Spain, had 4 ceremonies. We did yoga in the morning, and then sometimes we would meditate before ceremony. And I personally think meditating before ceremony helped me actually get a bit deeper because I was calmer. I know in London I used the I don't know what it's called, like the tobacco stuff up your nose, which I found very stressful because I really didn't like that, and I don't know if that made me a bit too stressed out for my ceremonies in London. But then anyway, in Spain, I'll get started because I'm kind of waffling and I hate long videos. So 4 ceremonies in Spain. First one, I took the first cup, and I felt something straight away. So, well, within like 20 minutes, half an hour, I literally felt like, it's so weird because when you take ayahuasca, it's not like, well, this is what my experience was. I kind of assume this is what everyone else's was too. You can't actually physically see things, but your mind can see it. So it's there, like the energies of it's there, and it's so like pretentious saying like energies and stuff, but like you genuinely feel that way when you take it. So anyway, the first night, I felt like the world was here and I was like up here, like in a different universe of just happiness. And it was just loads of like 4D shapes, just all going like that, different colours. Everything was so bright. I literally couldn't stop smiling. It was so amazing. I just, it felt great for like half an hour. But then for about 2 hours, I was getting like a new thought every second, and I was like, oh my god, where are they coming from? Just about random things like cereal and some irrelevant thing that happened to me like 3 years ago, and then this thought, and it was so confusing. I just had so many flying thoughts. And then anyway, so that was really the end of that first night. I did take a second cup and it didn't really do anything more at least. So then we had a second night, and I just have my notebook here to like remind me of everything. So then the second night, I was not much was felt tonight. I think personally I was quite distracted by someone who was in the room. It was very hard for me to shut myself off because I was trying so hard to get deep. I was like, I literally can't listen to noises or anything distract me. But I ended up getting very distracted, so I really didn't feel anything. I just sort of felt a bit wavy again, and a few thoughts that would come in. But I did feel proud of myself, though, for doing that, sort of going there and doing that on my own. That's something I thought was quite a big accomplishment. And then the third night was like, wow, like life-changing. Like, I finally understand what ayahuasca was about. I think the reason why I maybe got it so deep night was because during the day we went on a hike, 11-kilometre hike, and we had sun during the day, literally the tiniest little bit, probably like that much, but I do think that sort of tipped over to the night time. They always say that. I mean, like, even the day before was meant to. Anyway, so I had it, and within 20 minutes I was swallowed up, like my first cup on the third ceremony. So I had the cup. I went and lay down in my bed because we all had to obviously lie down, and I was like instantly swallowed up. And the first thing I saw was, it was really, really scary. I had a hard time for about half an hour. Like, the most terrified I've ever felt in my entire life happened in half an hour. So the Grim Reaper was there, and he was huge. Like, again, it's not like I can physically see this. I could just, like, my imagination was seeing it, and like, no matter what I did, I couldn't get rid of the bad mood. Like, I couldn't shift it. Like, you know, right now, if I thought of a bad thought, I'd be like, oh, just forget about that, and it can go. And it was quite easy. Like, no matter what I did, I could not get rid of this bad feeling. The Grim Reaper was there, and he was so big in the cape, and he was poking at my shoulder and pointing at me, and then I was like, oh my god, I can't deal with this. It was like, it felt like depression times a billion. That's what it felt like. It was absolutely terrifying. And then I opened my eyes, I was like, oh my god, but everything's still there when you open your eyes, even though you can't see it. So I looked out the window, and then all the like smaller Grim Reapers were tapping on the window, pointing at me, and then I looked at the trees, and the trees had all these scary faces in it, and the trees' branches were like pointing at me and stuff, because basically the Grim Reaper wanted me. I didn't feel like I was gonna die. It was just the feeling of, if you've ever, like, think of the most terrified you've ever been in your life, it was like that times 100. And anyway, after that passed, I had a family member who passed away a few months ago, and I spent 2 hours with her, and she said she was very, like, so happy and fine where she was. I literally can't talk about it, I ended up crying again. And also I had a dog who died a few years ago, who I loved so much, like a family member, and she was with her, and she was like, she keeps me company. We keep each other company, and, you know, she's saying she was okay, and she kind of was saying like she knew what was going on in my life and stuff like that, and she felt so happy and free. So I cried for about 2 hours. Like, I just couldn't stop myself from crying, and I knew everyone else was in the room, and I knew that they could hear me, but I couldn't stop it. I was so, like, involved in my own world of being so upset. And then I went outside. I did need a bit of a breather because I was feeling obviously a bit emotional, and I was like, maybe I should go outside because I don't want to distract other people if I'm crying so much. So I went outside, and I literally just wailed. Like, I wailed and wailed and wailed, but like every emotion about everything in my life was just hitting me, and it wasn't like sad of not being able to deal with it. It was like a sad but nice feeling to be able to cry so much, and it felt so good to get out. Like, the tears felt like genuine energy, and it sounds so pretentious, but that's what it felt like. It felt so good, and then all of a sudden I just stopped. So I came back inside. I came back inside and lay down, and this is sort of when everything else happened. So, you know, they always say like Mother Ayahuasca is like the person who takes you through that, and it genuinely is. Like, I understand that now too. I didn't get that before. This stick man, but it was a woman. Like, I could feel it was a woman. She grabbed my hand, and she just showed me a lot of my life journey. So the first one was like opening the door, and she was like, you know, no noise came out of her, but I knew what she was meaning the whole time and what everything meant. She opened the door and grabbed my hand and told me to look inside, and it was me and my future husband, and a little kid and a baby in a living room, and it was basically like, you know, you don't need to fret over anything. This will be your future. When it's meant to happen, it will happen. Because I'm single at the moment, like recently broke up with my boyfriend, so, and that's probably fear is like never being able to find anyone, right? I feel like maybe some girls kind of always have that fear. And obviously right now, like, you know, after seeing ayahuasca, I just don't feel like that. I'm living in the moment, like, but anyway, I'll talk about that after. After she showed me that, let's see. Oh, I also saw myself in a hospital bed as a very old woman with my grandkids and kids around me, and then when I died of old age, I, like, disintegrated into, like, hundreds of butterflies, but it was so nice to see, and it was, like, that message was, like, you know, you only live once, you can't turn back time, I can't get back my last few years of me over worrying about everything, of making life such a chore, and, like, you know, not living life, and, you know, not surfing the wave, as they say, you know, and that's what I got from that message. Let's see what else. I wrote so many times, like, you know, in my notebook, because I was like, in ayahuasca, I brought my notebook with me, and, you know, I literally keep writing, like, this is it, this is what ayahuasca is, this makes so much sense. I had so many questions about life answered, and it's kind of annoying because I can't remember them all right now. Just so many questions that I had about life. I had the answers too, but these things do, I think, will come to me when I need them in the next few months. That night as well, like the third ceremony, it all made sense for why it had to be that night. I don't know why, but it just made sense. I couldn't have had that the very first night I had ayahuasca because I don't think I would have done it again. It would have been too much. But everything just worked out and it had to be that night. Let's see, what else have I written? Magical. I've literally just wrote magical. All these questions and situations about people and about ayahuasca, all the questions I had about ayahuasca, about being so confused about it and why I wasn't getting deep, I don't understand how you feel energies or spirits, or like, how is it life changing? It all makes sense, and everyone's is so different, and it'll make sense to you once you experience it. The main reason I'm doing this video is because I don't want anyone to give up. They've tried ayahuasca, like, I don't know, 10 times and it's still not working. Please don't give up. I'm telling you, it is worth it. It's like, it is worth it. It is so worth it. And I genuinely did reach another dimension, and I think that's what's helped me not take life so seriously anymore. Not let, you know, life overcome me and make it so stressful. You know, life should be seen as a gift, and even though I haven't been seeing it as that, you know, I need to from now on, for sure. And one thing that also happened to me is I'm sort of a person who, I let people get me down quite easily, and it's kind of annoying. I let people's negativity and energies really affect me, and one thing that I saw in ayahuasca is I was stood in a glass box, and, like, everyone's negativity and nastiness, it was just bouncing off the glass box, like, it wasn't touching me. And that's what I need to be in like in life, and I will live a lot happier. I'll be able to do the job that I want to do. You know, it's your thoughts that rule your life. Do you know what I mean? I'm letting whatever these people say, I'm turning them into my own thoughts and letting them affect me when I shouldn't be. I genuinely felt like my work was complete that night. Like, I literally felt like I never had to do it again. Even though I want to, I do want to keep doing ayahuasca, because I do believe you can never stop progressing and getting, like, I don't know, you can never stop making yourself a better version of you. No one's ever going to, you know, do one ayahuasca and be fixed. I'm definitely not fixed. But I literally wrote, my brain has been unfucked. That's what I felt like. I also saw one thing which was incredible. I saw, like, all these crossed wires in my brain, what I thought were crossed wires, and then all of a sudden they just straightened up, like, poof, 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 and everything was just clicking and making sense. Like, that's what I thought. Let's have a look. Yeah, the reason that me and, I'm not going to talk about this a lot because it's really weird, but the reason me and my ex broke up is because he didn't want kids in the future and I did. I mean, we were very, very compatible, so obviously it's a shame, and it was hard and a bit of a strange breakup because it's not like it's toxic. And one thing I did see was I was in his dad's living room pregnant, and his younger brother and sister were sat next to me, and they were teenagers, which that's never going to happen. So that was a bit confusing. I don't really know what that told me. I don't know if that's because I wanted to see that. I don't really know what that was. Then I also passed over the baby to I also passed the baby over to his dad and was like, meet your new granddaughter, which again is never going to happen, but the feeling of proudness and love of his dad was overwhelming. And a huge message that I got was just let life take its course. It will do its job, and everything will work out the way it's meant to be. I need to stop fighting life, and that's what I've been doing. And ayahuasca showed me everything will work out the way it's meant to, so just let it. And especially with my breakup, I was fighting my breakup so much, like, he needs to want kids, like, he needs to be with me, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that's what's happened. Just leave it. That's the way that it had to go. I'm not saying, like, you know, get over it, stop feeling heartbroken, because obviously I still feel that way, but that's happened, and that's okay. That's the way life's meant to go. And he introduced me to ayahuasca as well. I never even heard of it before I met him, so I owe him so much for telling me about this, because my life has changed in the night, in that night. I quit jobs all the time because I let people affect me, and I really struggle to work with people who can be quite mean, and again, that's just not going to happen anymore, because it's so stupid now looking at how easily I let people affect me, and that's definitely going to start changing. All the little things in life don't matter anymore, you know. I saw a much bigger picture, and I felt like I was also shown, like, I'm exactly where I need to be in life. Like, I'm exactly where I need to be in life. Let's have a look. What else did I see? Also, like, what I saw in ayahuasca as well, she showed me, like, I needed to go traveling on my own and single, like, not with my boyfriend. I needed to go to ayahuasca single on my own, no mental backup at home. I literally needed that so much. It has given me the biggest self-love and self-confidence I have ever had in my entire life. Like, the breakup had to happen. Like, for example, even if we got back together today, which we never would, it still had to happen. Like, I had to be on my own for all of this, and ayahuasca was telling me all this, like, this little stick woman was showing me all this. That those bits weren't so much visually. It was like what I could feel, what I was getting told. One thing that I did see as well, which was pretty scary, was, like, I have had, like, mental health problems. Like, obviously I still have anxiety and I do get down days and stuff like that, but, like, I have felt suicidal and stuff in the past, and it showed me what my parents' reaction if I killed myself, and that was very hard. I felt what my parents felt, and I wanted that feeling to stop. Like, my parents are, like, happily married and have been for, like, 25 years. They're the best couple ever, but it showed me that they would get divorced, and the feeling of, like, the feeling of depression off my mum was, like, so intense, but I could feel it, and I was like, oh my god, I can't deal with this. And I was like, I can't believe I ever thought about doing that to my parents. It was hard. Let's see, what else did I see? Oh yeah, I got this bit was confusing for me. I saw, like, thousands of stick people, and they were all chanting to me, like, get back with your ex, you know, you need to be with him and stuff like this. And I was like, but I wasn't feeling that way. I was like, I can't be with him because he doesn't want kids. I don't want to be with him because he doesn't want kids. And they weren't making sense. So I was asking them questions. I was like, how is it possible to get back with him when he doesn't want kids? They weren't really answering me. It was so hard, you know, but they just kept saying, like, it was either the vibe of, some things were definitely confusing, but it was either the vibe of it'll happen in its own way, or if it's meant to happen, then it will happen, even though that they were telling me to get back with him. The whole thing was dead confusing. And he'd blocked me off everything, and I wanted to tell him about this experience, because he didn't block me because it's bitter. It's just the way he handles things, because he doesn't want us to be friends, which is fair enough if that's what he wants to do. But he you know, they told me that I needed to tell him about my experience because he introduced me to it, and I also had that feeling like I wanted to tell him, and I was like, it's impossible for me to, like, I don't know how I'm gonna, and they were like, you know, you'll find a way, just relax and you'll find a way. The next day in ayahuasca, after ayahuasca, I reactivated my Facebook, like when I left Spain, because I deleted it while I went travelling and stuff. I just wanted a bit of a break. And obviously I activated it and he didn't block me in there, and he was on there, and I was like, holy shit, like, what the hell, they told me I'd find a way and I didn't even really go looking for it, it just came. So obviously sent it all to him, and he, you know, that was crazy as well, which I never expected. You know, they told me that I'd be able to. What else did I see? I also saw, my cousin has 2 little kids, and I love them so much. They're like my niece and nephew, and they were stood next to each other, and he's 2 years old and she's 3, and probably shouldn't say the name. She was growing, but he just wasn't, and he was stuck, like she was growing older, and I was like, what's wrong with him? There's something wrong with him. Why isn't he growing? It was like a dud, like dead plant, and I was like trying to help him grow up, and he just wasn't, and I knew, I was like, something's wrong. And he does, at the moment, he's not speaking many words when he should be, so, you know, they do think he has a speech problem. Like, they don't think that he's special needs, but a speech problem, and there was just something different about him, like, he needed the extra help, which was just crazy, just so crazy. Let's have a look. I think that might be sort of, there was loads of other things that happened, but those are just sort of the main things that I saw. You know, I think the main one was seeing my grandma for like 2 hours. That was like, she was literally my second mum, so the past few months have been so tough, and to be able to see her again and her tell me that she is happy and okay, you know, I do believe in other dimensions, and I do believe in life after death, and I do believe that was her soul or energy or something. I just knew. And this, you know, we talked, and she smiled and danced, she held me, she came next to me, she stroked my head. And how I felt her in the beginning was when I had that hot time, I was like hugging myself on my side, my finger was up like that, and I just felt like her touching it, and I was like, oh my god. And, you know, that's when I saw her. There was also a kind of crazy time where I thought, oh my god, none of this is real, I'm just a patient in a mental institute, and I felt like that for about 10 minutes, and that was quite scary too. But after, you know, the stick woman showed me bits and pieces, you know, about my ex, about like a future husband, you know, I saw me dancing at my wedding as well. All these things, after all that, it was like the gateway to the spiritual world just opened. Like, I was in it. I was lying down, and it was just like probably like 50 what felt like spirits in the room, just moving, dancing, and happy. And it was like I'd made it to the other side. I fucking made it. I understand ayahuasca now. It all makes sense. Everything makes sense. I understand how it's so life-changing. I understand what to do now in my life, and like I did know before, but I don't know, ayahuasca just make everything more clearer, help me get on the right path, and like, oh, I just can't tell you how amazing it is. And it's like someone coming to tell you all the shit that you thought you might have known is definitely true, and what you need to do to be the best version of yourself. And this definitely won't be the last time that I do ayahuasca, for sure. I've got a long journey. This is only the beginning. But I think it might be a while. Like, it took me about 2 days to sleep properly after that. I rocked myself backwards and forwards for 4 hours straight after that. My mind genuinely couldn't comprehend what I'd just seen or where I'd just been. I felt like in shock. And then I was talking to, like, they don't really call themselves shamans, but like the leaders of the group. I was like, I feel insane. I literally was rocking backwards and forwards like this for so long, for hours, and I was like, I don't feel right. What I've just seen was like, I just didn't expect to see all that all at once. Like, I thought it would come in bits, and it was just like everything that I wanted to see and understand just came at me in one night. Everything about everything just made sense. And they were like, don't worry, like that happens. You do feel quite crazy after it sometimes because you just can't believe what you've just seen. And that's what I felt like. I felt crazy. And I was like, oh my God, what if I feel crazy forever? But it stopped after 2 days. I don't think I have much else to say. Let me see. No, I think that might be it. Obviously a lot more happened, but we'd be here all day, and a lot's happened that I can't remember. That I'm sure will come to me. But if you've had a few ayahuasca ceremonies, because that was my 5th one. That was my 5th one when I got deep. And then I did a 6th one, but I took a tiny bit because I was like, I can't go that deep again. I just wasn't ready for it. So I didn't really feel so much the 4th ceremony, the 4th ceremony in Spain, but my 6th in total. Please give it a chance. It is so life-changing. And I literally have had one deep session, and I feel this way already. Like, I think it's so worth it, and it is terrifying. Like, I had the scariest half hour of my life, and I think that's why it's going to take me a few months to get back to it, because that was so terrifying. But I'm going to only go back to it when I'm ready. I'm not going to force myself. I've got a lot to take in from that deep session right now, and I don't think I deal with more new deep information. I'll come to it when I'm ready to progress even more, because right now I'm still progressing from the last one. Please just have faith. And I would say do your research, but to be honest, I just kind of winged this one. In terms of research, I just kind of trusted them because I felt like I could, and it worked. They were amazing. If anyone wants, they have another one in October, I think, in Spain. So if anyone wants the details, like, send me a private message and we can swap numbers, and I can get you informed with them. But yeah, just give it a chance, and it will change your life. Definitely. Even one night could possibly. That's what people say, I know, on YouTube and all these blogs and stuff, and it all finally makes sense. But yeah, I think that's it. Okay, well, thanks for watching. I don't really know what I say at the end. Any questions, just hit me up.